Hey guys, Dr. Sandal here. Going to do a reaction video to Ren's suicide video. The first thing is, like, when you look up this video, YouTube is so touchy, you can't even write the dang word, so he has to, fudge the title to it, use an exclamation mark instead of the I. I just think that's crazy. Like, we can't get a handle on a problem if we can't talk about a problem. This is definitely algorithms run away. Power to Ren for addressing such a super difficult topic. I heard from my social media manager who asked me to react to this. She was saying he made this in reaction to a friend of his who did commit suicide, which is super sad. So I'm expecting it to be pretty heavy. Wish me luck, guys. Let's react. Some AI imagery there. Cool style.
Running through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's a strong line.
Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Sick boy, written by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes.
There's a lot of I want to say imagery, but like obviously it's words. I'm spacing out on the term for that, right? But a lot of evocative language here that he has these themes of piercing through or falling through. It's very interesting. The idea that this is something that comes and attacks us. I think anybody who has had a lot of mental trials knows the irregular drum beat of that, the sudden appearance of that. I really like that line right there. He talked about the piercing through the armor that a sword comes. Heavy, and it's the sense of lack of control that is so poignant to that. And I'm wondering if he starts to move a little bit into, like, how do we insulate ourselves from that? How do we give ourselves some degree of parachute from the floor dropping out from underneath us? Because I think he's making a compelling point here that it's not really something that's defensible. It's more about having some methodology when that shows up.
Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Super good line.
Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
I'm not quite sure what to make of his line, "It never felt quite like the right time." I don't know kind of which way he's saying that. It never felt like the right time for suicide, or it never felt like the right time in his life. He couldn't, these individuals can't get connected in. It never felt like the right time, so what are our options? Might also just be a double meaning, but definitely has my attention. I wonder if it's going to unpack a little bit.
Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, had to.
What did he mean by the Fibonacci thing there? I'm a little bit out of a loss. He's seeing things in patterns. The double Dutch. What do you guys think about that? I'd love some insight there, because I'm clueless on that one.
Guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's no...
Man, you can just feel it from him, man. Heavy. Yeah, that hope that we can control destinies, even our own destinies, let alone someone else's destiny. God, you just feel the regret.
Not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Yeah, that was heavy. I really liked that line at the end where he says, "I hope you're listening." Yeah, that last lines about the fragility and how that all came crashing down for that individual, and the tranquility, and then the effects on his childhood. It's so cool to see him processing that, in song. I mean, it's just amazing to see an artist who can share that level of vulnerability about his processing, because it shows that it is something that can be processed. And I don't think he feels like in this song he comes to a conclusion with that. I didn't get that sense at all. But it's the process, it's like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's work on this. Let's be together. And like, there's pain and that's real. And I don't know what to do. And it reminds me of the power of human connectivity, just communicating about that, having an experience with other human beings is part of that healing process. And it's just so cool to see someone have the guts to to put it all out there, in front of everybody. Man, that's a hard cut to listen to. But there's strength in the real. It's so real. There's so much power there that lets people connect. I really do like, I hope you're listening, man. That's a super, super sweet line. It's the oldest question. What happens after we die? You just did one little thing. I was too late. Now you're tranquil. what does that mean, right? That's the perpetual question. Um, and we're of course there are mystics who have all sorts of answers to those things, and the more that we can explore our own consciousness and the nature of consciousness, that is one way to try and find for ourselves those answers. But at the end of the day, we're just going to say, hey man, I hope you're still out there. I hope things are good, whatever the next thing was. I just thought it was a really sweet line. He's in all this pain and trying to do his own processing, and he still just misses his friend. Shit. Yeah. Sweet. It's sweet. It's a heavy song. Okay. Yeah. So this week is Suicide Prevention Week. That's why we chose this video. I don't know. We as a culture really, I think, have stuff messed up around this. It's like, when we say suicide prevention, it's like we're so far down the line. Like, why did we fail people all the way to that point where now we have a freaking hotline to deal with stuff way down here? Obviously, they're great, right? Like, I'm not trying to nag them, but like, how is it that as a society we don't support people all the way back here, right? Suicide prevention, people all are unique. They all have their different trials, their different traumas. They see the world through different lenses, even just hardcore neurochemically. People are limited or gifted, and some people just have boatloads of serotonin. Some people are born with zip. So it's always unique. But when we're talking about suicide prevention, when we're talking about mental health more broadly, to me, I just get this feeling of, the thing to say is human connection. You have people who you can be vulnerable with, you can share with. A lot of times, if we feel like we should be stronger, so we don't ask for help, we end up in a bad way. And the reality, and Ren's showcasing it here, is that our friends just freaking wish we had talked to them about it. Suicide prevention is a good thing for people to be talking about. I just wish that we had an earlier conversation, about a bigger conversation. When people are feeling that isolation, when people are feeling that hopelessness, it's like, how do we make that go away? Like, how do we help people connect with meaning, connect with the reality that that the world is so vast. I had someone tell me once, if you're thinking that way, just throw everything away, leave, and do something different, because the world is so vast. Change it entirely. But we do get stuck into these, we have this sense of responsibility, or I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And I think that's kind of an echo of the same thing, where people feel like they should be okay, so they're not going to ask for help. They're not going to change things. Everyone puts up with this shit. I should just put up with this too. You don't owe the world that. You just owe it to yourself to find happiness, whatever that is. And I'll just say as a closing thought, really, I think fundamentally the human connection, making eye contact with a buddy or a loved one, and just allowing that vulnerability and saying, hey, I need some help with this, is huge. And I just love that Ren is, it's just like, man, I wanted to be that guy for him. Okay, guys, heavy one. I hope everyone's well, and we're going to keep on moving with these. If you guys have anything that you want to see us react to, please let us know. I'd love to dig into what you guys want to see. Any questions for me, let me know. Oh, and if anybody has any thoughts on that Fibonacci and the double Dutch line, I would love to hear about that, because I'm scratching my noggin on it. Okay, take care, guys.